Okay, so I managed to scrape together some footage from Roco Kingdom's gameplay. Right now, they're test playing the game in Chinese, and the game, if I'm not mistaken, is only available in Southeast Asia right now. And like I said before, it's only in Chinese. They haven't released the English translation yet. What I did do is some of the scenes in the footage I managed to translate, and you'll see it on screen. I was trying to help people out so they can kind of get an idea of how the game is. The cutscenes they have in the game are really impressive. I like that a lot, especially since I've never heard of this game before. I only found out about this game this year. But the cutscenes are good, and you'll get to see how the character moves around and interacts with their environment. I also liked how they did with that. For people who are not aware, this is not really much a sci-fi game. It's more like a Harry Potter meets Pokemon type thing going on. You'll see what I mean by that later on. The main character can be a boy or a girl, and the gist of what I'm getting, I could be wrong, but from what I've managed to translate, the gist of what I'm getting is like the main character is supposedly like a chosen one or a special person. Yeah, these large creatures that the character interacts with, they're like guardians or guards of something, and they can tell that there's something special about the main character, the player. There was a cat one, and then there's like this turtle one over here. There's gonna be quite a few cutscenes in this. I'm not sure how many cutscenes, but I remember there was a good amount of cutscenes. I kept them in because I thought they were really nice, and I wanted people to see the cutscenes. I like how they dressed the character. It's a bit brand heavy, but that's also realistic because of the fact that, like, have you seen people wear like a full Nike outfit? So I guess they've got like a full Roco Kingdom outfit. I'll also manage to translate some of the settings. The opening scene of the starters very much reminds me of Sword and Shield. That opening scene where they show you the starters, that reminds me straight up like Sword and Shield. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but it probably was intentional for all I know. Which of these starters appeals to you as a viewer? Which of these starters do you think, oh yeah, if I'm playing this game, I would get this starter? The water one kind of reminds me almost of a slime from Dragon Quest Monsters. And I find it interesting how they have like a grass cat, because Pokemon's newest starter was a grass cat. I'd say they're about like medium in like design quality, not anything too great or not anything too bad, just somewhere in the middle, which is not a bad thing at all, because I haven't seen the rest of the monsters. Also, I have some battle footage, and I translated some stuff on the battle footage. The first battle footage has like the fire starter going up against one of these duck creatures, and the duck reminds me of Psyduck from Pokemon, but like I guess a different attitude or demeanor. Oh yeah, and there's like hearts. I think those represent the player's lives or their full energy, how much they can do for the day. I'm not 100% sure yet. So in the first scenario, we saw what happens when you lose a battle. This time is what happens when you win a battle. I also translated this, and I found out that the player can do quests. You can actually do quests in this game. This owl in the game seems to function like how a professor would in Pokemon. I noticed in the game that the main character talks a lot with these magical creatures, and they interact and they have discussion. So they're able to fully communicate. I guess similar to how like in Digimon you can fully communicate, but instead of being in a digital world, just a regular world is magical. Whenever I'm showing the battle interface, I wanted people to be able to see the animations. Like as they're fighting, you can see the whole back and forth, and you also get to see how they capture the monsters. The capture animation looks really cool to me. I like that. Keep in mind, this is a mobile game. This is not like oh, you have to have a PS5 to play it. This is on mobile. And the monsters come in different sizes. I'm not sure if anyone caught that yet. The monsters actually come in different sizes. From what I heard, the game was created using I believe the newest Unreal Engine or the second to newest Unreal Engine. I also wanted to include footage of the player traveling through the game world, whether it's in the water or on land. You also got to see how the player goes through the water. They can go through the water by themselves, or they can actually mount one of their creatures and go through the water on the creature. I guess depending on what type of creature it is. Like I've seen them go through the water with the duck, which I thought was kind of cool. Whenever I saw how you could mount the duck and see it waddle all kind of goofy, moving around, I don't know what the purpose of this was, just to make people laugh. What I mentioned earlier before the whole Harry Potter thing, yeah, you're crafting items in this game and like stuff to help your monsters and help you, but it's like the whole Harry Potter magic style stuff. So if this doesn't interest some people, I understand that, but some people don't care, so I also understand some people don't care. Here is a blue winter looking bird. I think it must be like some snowbird. Yeah, the game has this winter blue bird that I found out later you can actually use it to help you fly around. Even though it's a small bird, you can fly around. So remember when people used to make jokes about Sparrow knowing how to use fly? Well, I guess Sparrow must have used this technique. You'll see what I'm talking about later. Now right here, this is the scene where the player can actually fly. They use some effect right here, and then this opens up some airways, and then they can use the flying bird to get up and fly just like that, and they start to fly around and they can travel. And it can even rise up. I thought it was gonna be like gliding and then get tired and then you fall down. Which, by the way, whenever you use a mount, I see the stamina going down. So I think whenever you're mounting, your mount can get tired. Now here's a cutscene that looks really nice. Apparently, the main character is flying through the air and they happen to see two what looks to be like legendary monsters fighting. Yeah, so it looks to be like some good butterfly unicorn versus like a bad shadowy unicorn. And the main character is in the air while all this storm is happening. And it sees the good looking unicorn thing starting to lose against the bad looking unicorn thing. And they lose their balance and they start to fall down. Then there's this cut where the main character wakes up because they didn't die because of plot armor. And now they're back in their bed and it kind of just ends off like that. I think for all I know, this might be all what's available for the demo, or there might be more.
If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to subscribe and like and share. Find out what happens next time on the OFC.